Wow, the emergency alarm in our building is loud. Hey gang! So I just had a fun experience. The emergency alarm went off in our apartment for the first time since we've been here. I was watching a YouTube video and all of a sudden what sounded like the world's loudest alarm clock placed in front of the microphone at a death metal concert came erupting out of the living room. Action 1, pause the video I was watching. Action 2, jam my fingers into my ears because, oh my goodness, it was so loud it was causing me physical pain. I ran to the bedroom to get my earplugs and put them back in, and I was just wearing a nightshirt at the time. So I pulled on pants over those, didn't bother changing into real clothes or adding a bra or anything, stuffed my feet into my shoes without bothering to put on socks first, and headed back to the living room to grab a sweatshirt because it's like 50 degrees out, and then came back into the office to grab my phone and these guys. But before I got back in here, the alarm turned off. I paused for a moment, listening, waiting to see if it would come back on. I pulled out one plug to listen for whether or not the alarm was still going off in other apartments, and it didn't seem to be. So both earplugs came out, I put them back on my nightstand, and I called the property manager to ask, WTF? Not in those exact words, but basically asking what just happened. Was it a test that we hadn't been alerted of? Because I know that there are probably at least a few neighbors who have heart problems, so that would be dumb. Or did somebody trip something and then manage to shut it back off before too long, before it alerted emergency services and whatnot, in which case, off with their head! I did end up having to leave a voicemail because Fridays are by appointment only, but thankfully she was in, so she called me back shortly after and let me know that apparently they're not the ones we should be annoyed with because the security company informed them yesterday at 4 p.m. that they were going to be testing the alarm system this morning. I could understand if you go into a business and warn them that you're going to be testing their system the next day, but if that business that you're talking to is a property management company that has lots and lots of residents in the building you're talking about doing the alarm check in, you should probably give them a little more of a heads up so that they can then give the residents a heads up. So they know, don't panic, it's gonna happen, it's gonna be loud, and anytime you hear it other than when we notify you, it's a problem and you should get out. Thankfully, this is only apparently gonna happen once a year or so. Ideally, the security company will let the housing authority know further in advance so they can let us know so that we don't get used to hearing this alarm and knowing that it's nothing. Because one day, it won't be nothing. That was really all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to complain about the alarm going off and letting you know that it was ear-splitting and that if you run a security company or have any part in a security company, you should let people know further in advance than 4 p.m. the previous day. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go take something for this headache I now have. Bye! Happy whiteboard used for focusing. Whee!